Hey everybody, welcome back to the Amazing Fantasy Podcast. So, Rings of Power dropped on Amazon, and I've had my reservations about this series for good reason. As of now, I don't like what the show has done with Galadriel. I think the actress is fine, the writing is not great for her character. She seems like she seems very modernized. There's only way to really say it. The impression I got from her is her attitude is like very, I'm going to stamp my feet and I want you to do what I tell you to do. It seems like kind of like Daenerys with her bend the knee nonsense in Game of Thrones. And for the most part, everybody actually did bend the knee except for Jon Snow, which is why she ended up, well, you know. But I found something to enjoy in the show. I think it leaves a lot to be desired. I think it needs a little bit better in the writing department. I think it's trying to do a little bit too much at this point in time. My problem with this show is calling it Lord of the Rings, because it's not Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is a specific point in Middle Earth history, and J.R. Tolkien did not write that much about the Second Age. So setting this in that era is kind of dumb. So there's no story to base it on. What are you doing? That stuff I just don't understand, you know? But I think my favorite character as of now is probably Arendir, the quote unquote elf of color. Just an elf. Like, why do we always have to bring skin color into this? It's fantasy. You can make a little bit of liberties. It's not that big a deal. It really isn't. But I think his story is the most interesting for me. Yeah, I don't like what the show has done to Galadriel at all. I think she's too modernized. I think she's kind of bossy, kind of a brat. And the thing about elves is they don't age. They age really slowly, so they wouldn't change. So she would be the same as she was now as she would be years from now. So I don't understand. So I don't understand the reasoning behind that decision to make her like this. I think this thing is dumb. For like casual fans, I think casual fans will find something to like about this show. For me, as of now, the only character I really kind of give a damn about is Arendir. His story seems to be the most interesting. Galadriel seems kind of pointless. She's looking for Sauron, who's never going to reveal himself to her. It's never going to happen. And it's pretty obvious who Sauron actually is in this show. As the thing is like, okay, so in the second episode, she encounters these people on this raft in the middle of the ocean, mind you. She was going to Undying Lands, and then for some reason she decided to jump off. And she encounters these people. One of them is some dude with brownish hair, long brown hair, short brown hair actually. Looks like he's from some poor part of the world or something. So obvious he's Sauron. He's in disguise. So obvious. And he's asking all these questions as he seems really confident. And you don't really get that from some of the other characters in the show. And if Sauron was hiding in plain sight, he wouldn't be doing the obvious thing. And he should be he should appear as like, I can't remember what species he was, as the bringer of gifts, but it should look like that. I think he might get to that point eventually, but as of now, I'm okay with this particular form. As you notice, this show starts with her saying her little monologue, "Nothing is evil in the beginning." Obviously talking about Sauron. Because we have to do that now. I give everybody a background that never needed a background in the first place. Sauron's bad. Like, she's not Darth Vader. Sauron is bad. That's about it. There is no, he was good once. No. This isn't Disney. Give me a break. I mean, the show's okay. It's just, I don't know. I need to see more before I really decide if I'm gonna like stick around for this series. I would watch an Arendelle spinoff, as long as it's not called Lord of the Rings. It is not Lord of the Rings. Because I can play the Middle Earth games and walk away completely satisfied because it's in that world, but it takes liberties, but it's not Lord of the Rings. And there's some familiarity throughout the games, of course, but it doesn't really tie into the movies until the end of Shadow of War, because Talion becomes a ring wraith. Spoilers. And I don't know. I kind of had a problem with how the story ends. I knew it wasn't going to be in the movies, so I figured he would only have to end the story one way. But yeah, it's obvious who Sauron is in this show. So you want to look at this guy, I'm like, yep, it's him. It was kind of cool seeing Khazad Dûm in its prime. Yeah, I like the use of the map and how it shows what location you're at. It's a problem I've always had with Star Wars, at least in the Mandalorian series. You never know what planet I'm on. And they'll mention like a planet in dialogue, but it's like, can you show me the name of the planet in little subtitles when he's flying into the system? That would be great. It's not that I mean I have no idea where they are. But that's a good thing in this show. It's like Middle Earth is such a vast landscape, and it's nice to see everything being, the little details make it adds up. I don't know. They got Killer Brimbor on the show, so they might be building up to the Rings of Power being forged. So maybe that's why they're calling it Rings of Power. At least they have Killer Brimbor in the show. But the middle of the game's got this story. I would say more accurate than this show is probably going to do. Because Sauron pretty much deceives everybody into making the rings, and then he takes that concept and makes the one ring. So that would probably be towards the end of the series, maybe. I don't know. It's called Rings of Power, so they have to show up at some point. So I don't have that many expectations for that per se. I just wish it was called Lord of the Rings. When I think of Lord of the Rings, I think of the middle of the trilogy. Fellowship, Two Towers, Return of the King. It's like The Hobbit is originally called There and Back Again. It's called The Hobbit, but it could be also called There and Back Again. And so always had two titles, according to the book anyway. No idea how Tolkien wrote it. He never didn't write it as an action adventure epic. It was a kid's book. It had poems and songs. There's 13 of the same type of dwarf, look exactly the same. And in the movies, they hardly have any personality. And then make it a freaking trilogy out of it. How in the world do they make a trilogy out of that? When they pulled from the appendices, which gave me more Gandalf, which I'll never complain about, because in the books, Gandalf disappears, and you never know where he is until that big battle at the end. He just randomly shows up. So at least in the movies, you know where he is. Like, okay, cool. But what are they taking from the appendices for this show? Because it's not like I've read the appendices that often, but I don't know. I think the show so far has got a lot going on. Or at least it's trying to have a lot going on. I think it is trying to be next Game of Thrones. It's trying, but I don't think it's going to get there. Game of Thrones was a specific style. And I'm not sure who this show is made for, per se. Is it made for diehard fans like myself, or regular people? Because diehard Tolkien fans are going to tear this apart. I said this about, like, the Daniel Craig 007 movies. Old school Sean Connery or Roger Moore fans probably won't like this version because no gadgets, no real quips, and all that stuff. I was okay with, but for this show, I think they need to establish the proper what audience this is for. I mean, at least the episode's like an hour long, so it doesn't have the Disney Plus problem of having like 30-minute episodes and accomplishing like nothing, like the awful Kenobi series. I renewed my membership on Amazon when this premiered. As of now, I'm not sure if I'm gonna stick around with this show right now. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, I don't know. The Arendir storyline has me intrigued, but I don't know if that's enough to keep watching at this point in time. We'll see what happens.